I'll show you how to unwind a mainspring on a Timex watch. With your fingers, you're going to want to spin the crown and advance the click. See how you can get the click to start to pull out here? If you just try to take and push the click up without advancing it, it's not going to work that well. See how you can get it to advance forward? Then you can push up a little bit on the click and then release the tension. The reason why you don't want to push too hard on that click is right here is a very delicate spring that pushes the click into the gear. I'll put a little wind on it and then we'll bring it back down again. With our fingers, we'll advance the click a little bit by moving the crown. You can see it just lifted up again. Put a little bit of pressure on the click, not too much, and then slowly release the tension. Here's a perfect example. I pushed too far and went beyond the spring here. Now, because this spring is not engaged, you're not going to be able to wind it. You'll be able to spin it. It'll just go right back on itself. I'll show you how you can fix this, but it's not an easy fix because this spring is going to have to be pulled up so we can get this little spring to re-engage the click. It's easier than you think to break this little spring. I'll take like a brass pick and I'll pry under it and pop it up like this. Now you can see that the entire click mechanism is raised up, and we're going to have to push it onto the gear itself and then push it back against the spring to engage everything. If we zoom in closer, you can see this little post here is the spring, and everything is engaged the way it's supposed to. This next step I would not recommend, but I'm just going to show you how it works. If I spin everything, you can see how the click will go one click at a time. Now it is possible that with the tension you could throw the click spring and the click across the room. You wouldn't throw the click spring across the room, but this little click would go off and it could go pretty far. Getting this retention spring on is a lot more complicated and it's easy to break. Place this end into the post and then we'll drop it on there. Once you've got this against the post, go ahead and roll this spring back, and now we've got to push this tab back into its detent. I like to take my finger and hold that spring because this could fly across the room. Take a pair of tweezers, not anything too sharp. Go ahead and push. Right now you can see that it's close. We may be able to just push it back in, but with your fingers and the tweezers, work that little spring back in, and there it went. The watch is ready to be wound now. You can see how everything functions and works. Another method is you can take this spring portion and put it into the detent. Now that the back of the spring is in its detent, we'll need to get this around the post, which is easier said than done. I'll put my thumb over the spring to make sure it doesn't fly. We'll take a brass pick and we'll put it right on the edge. Apply pressure. You can take a pick and put it underneath the spring, then use your fingernail to push that tip in the post. Once you've got established, pull out the pick. What you're trying to avoid is breaking the back of the spring off like this. This portion of the spring is very delicate. I typically find it easier putting this side in and then gently working the back into place.